One of the nonsense.
Kanjia.
Hello.
One better than the last 72 starts. Based on Unilag scoring his second goal of the campaign, just beating Courtois there at his back post. Everything still to play for in the second 45 as the official Mr. Miller brought the first minutes to a close. If we can see now the stats of the first 45 minutes possession, 40 to 60 clearly in favour of Trinity side. Two shots on
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we speak right now, the host, our facilitator is already in the house, in the person of Her Royal Majesty Adaku Chidume-Okoro. She is a member of ICAN Council, and she's been here with us for a while now. So this session will be the third of the series. So she has a very busy day. While we're still admitting people, I think it's time to let the floor open for her to come in and carry on. Now, this event is being streamed live on YouTube on our paid television channel. So this event is actually brought to you by Page Platform. Page is known as Professional Accountants Group Email, made of ICAN members that have come together to make a difference in our nation, Nigeria. And we are so happy to have Her Royal Majesty Adaku Chidume-Okoro keying into our vision. And we are also keen to hers as well, because we are all partners in progress. You're welcome on board. The floor is yours now. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, madam.
Ma.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to be with us once more. Today it's our Page. Please, can you mute everybody?
Okay.
In our mentoring series, Agri-Export Mentoring Series, I'm sure as many of us as are here today that found time to be here. If you've been with us for the first and the second series, it means it's exciting enough to still maintain your interest to be here for the third time. But if this is the first time you're joining us, you're welcome on board. I only request that you sit back, enjoy the discussion, try and learn as much as possible, because in the world we are in, knowledge is power, information is power. So whatever you're able to learn, sometime, someday, in one area of life or the other, you find an application for it. So I encourage us to pay attention while I run through what I have for us today. There will be time for question and answer. So if you have, or occasionally, I might be talking. Paige, please, can you mute everyone? As we be pausing, if need be, to take comments, to stop for people that may wish to ask for clarification or questions. We will devote at least 25 to 30 minutes for questions. Thank you, and once more, welcome to today's session. Our table of contents, we will start by our introduction. For today's introduction, I want us to recall that in my earlier teachings, I made us to understand that keying into agri-exports should be seen as a sustainable business, capable of transforming one's financial story for good, if handled with absolute dedication and focus. Remember again, I said, and I have to repeat, agri-exports is not a deal, but a business. It's not a deal, it's a business. Meaning is a business you need to nurture, to grow, to prosper, to fruit for you to harvest. It's not a deal. Talking about deal means a one-time activity that you hope to make a kill. But agric is a business. You need to nurture it to grow for you to have a good harvest. Today, again, I make bold to tell us that agribusiness, with all its associated value chain, as old as it is, can be adjudged the most stable form of business. The reason being that we are talking about food. Food has no substitute. You will agree with me that Microsoft is yet to develop a software that will act as a substitute for food. I haven't seen any. If you've seen any, please don't hesitate to let me know. So food, it's indispensable. It's just like the air we breathe. You can't do without food, just like you can't do without breathing in air. So as there are human existence on this planet Earth, food will be needed. Agric will continue to be a business. Excuse me one moment. So like I said, agric will continue to be a business, not just for today, for as many years as there are still to come, that we have existence on planet Earth. Hold on for me a little. Okay. Please, Paige, if you're there, okay. Oh. Then, having said that, we go to Paige, please, can you help me screen? I can't see mine again.
Okay. Yeah.
Are
Let
you
me
there?
know. Yes. Yes, I'm here. So,
I'm trying to get back to my slide.
okay.
I don't know what happened.
But
Please give me a little time, a little time, a little time. Try. I was actually trying to admit
no, don't
some
admit
members.
anybody. No, don't admit them.
Okay.
I'm taking care of that.
Okay. Okay, so just give me a few seconds. Let me get back to my slide.
Okay.
Okay. I think I'm back now.
Okay.
Okay. So that's by way of introduction. So long as there is human existence on planet Earth, food will be needed. Agric will continue to be a big and sustainable business, which we can't do without. The world over, also, you will agree with me that oil and gas as an energy source is becoming gradually replaced with alternative sources of energy, including solar, wind, geothermal, and biofuels. Developed countries have put a time frame within which clean energy will totally replace oil and gas in their automobile and other applications. The unacceptable health hazard from carbon emission arising from the use of fossil fuels has further endangered the oil and gas business. Therefore, agribusiness presents a sustainable and viable alternative. In this period of new normal, owing to a series of disruptions traceable to COVID-19 pandemic, it is considered the right time to allow some career disruptions to our already established career and business paths. This, you will do yourself a word of favor by keying into agric. I describe agric as the big business. In essence, the time to take the leap is now. The agricultural big business is made up of global value chain. You can be a player by keying into any of the stages in the value chain. These stages are, you can be a farmer. You may wish to be an agrochemical merchant. You can also farm inputs, do farm inputs multiplication and supplies. You may wish to invest in warehousing and silos provision. You can also key in by processing some of the agri produce or packaging, transportation and logistics, business consultancy, which is very relevant to those of us that are professionals in this house today. You can also engage in freight forwarding, or where we have our main area of focus, you can be an agri-commodity exporter. But for the purposes of this mentoring series, we are focusing mainly on agri exports. And the exports arm of the agri value chain is the zenith of the agribusiness value chain. As professionals, the export aspect of the value chain and provision of consultancy services to businesses engaged in agri exports will challenge our intellect and give us a needed job satisfaction of operating within a niche market. I will pause here by recapping our previous 2 lessons so that for those of us joining for the first time, we can all be on the same page. On some of the platforms that have been created, I see some people asking questions, why this, why not this, and all that. So I think for better understanding, it's good I recap what we did in series 1 and series 2. Here we go. For series 1, which was the topic for series 1, was living your passion, living your passion. There, we were told that the business of agribusiness is for future millionaires. We were told that future millionaires in the economy are no longer going to come from oil and gas, that agribusiness is the in thing. Recall also that we were told that agribusiness needs our time, our attention, our dedication, our commitment. We were told also that for it to succeed, you need to see it as a business, a full-time business for that matter. You need to be passionate, that is the thing. You need to be passionate about the agribusiness. If you're not passionate about it, you just want to do it because you see people going into agribusiness, you're not likely to make a success of it. But if you're passionate about it, you will now see how easy it is to key in, run it as a business, and make a very good success of it. Just an example. If you are a woman that does not naturally like children, of course, some people don't like children. Some people feel that children are very messy and shouldn't come around them. Please, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
I can hear you. I don't know. I can hear you. Just a few people, and I think they need to check their mic.
If you're hearing me, it's not from my end then.
Yes, I'm hearing.
Should I go ahead?
Please. Yes, please.
Okay. So, like I was saying, you will agree with me that a woman that does not like children, you will start wondering, how come a woman will not like children? Of course, some women don't like children. How do you know? When you have children around the lady that feels that the children are a bunch of mess, that they are perturbing her peace, she keeps pushing them away, she doesn't want her dress to be messed up and things, you will know that the person does not like children. And if a person does not like children, there's no how the person can be a good mother. In same vein also, you need to be very passionate about agribusiness for you to make a success of it. If you're just going into agribusiness because that is the in thing, well, you may end up playing at the surface level, but you won't get the benefits meant for deep players, those that are entrenched in it, those that are very passionate in it, those that want to create a niche for themselves and make a good success of it. So we were told during that lesson 1 that we need to be very passionate about this agribusiness for us to make a success of it. Then that takes me to our lesson 2. Lesson 2 was export market identification. Having gone through lesson 1, we were given a case study, and that case study was assessed. Over 90% of the class got their answers right, and that qualified them to continue to lesson 2. In lesson 2, which was export market identification, we were told that for us to continue on this path we have chosen, we need to be consistent, we need to be focused, we need to have a target of what we want to achieve and accomplish within a set time frame. We need to have a zeal to produce results. We're also told that if we are talking about exports, it means our market is definitely outside Nigeria. You can't be doing business in Nigeria, buying and selling in Nigeria, and you say you're into exports. No, it means the buying starts from here, and then the selling is abroad for it to qualify as exports. We were also told that we need to identify our primary and secondary markets. Know the requirements of the market. What does the market need? In what form? How do I assess this market? What certifications do I need to penetrate this market? This market, do they prefer their products fresh? Do they want it dried? Do they want it crushed? Do they want it processed? In what form? You need all that for you to venture into a particular market. Then we were encouraged to start with very low risk products. It doesn't make sense if you want to go into export for the first time. Talking about low risk products now, you can't go and start export business with products like yam, fresh yam tubers. Some people try to do that and they burnt their fingers. So if you're a new entrant into the export business, your best bet is to start with low risk products. I remember one of us asking, please, Ma, can you tell us what these low risk products are? I mentioned a few, and I had expected those questions to continue pouring in for me to give answers to them, address them, and explain on the various platforms created. So if you still have such concerns, please, I encourage you to speak out on the platforms so that you will learn and others will also benefit. During that lesson 2, we said under market identification, you need to put your house in order. What are your strengths and weaknesses? What do you have in-house? What are you going to source outside for you to make this business work? We're also told that you need to know the products you have decided to go into. That product, what seasons do they have it available in Nigeria? In what quantities? Which states, which regions are the producers? Who are my suppliers? How do I get this product? Am I going to be the farmers to buy, or I'm going to appoint agents? You need to have all that information in your palm, even as you approach your export market. Then we're told again that you need to make your investigation concerning mode of sending it to your market. Is it going to be by air? Is it going to be by road? Are you air freighting? In what type of packaging? Is it going to be in badges or jute bags or double propylene bags or cartons or whatever? Then what selling method do you need to penetrate that market, or are you targeting? Do you think abroad they will recognize your company name, and then your customer will feel comfortable dealing with you as a Nigerian? Or wouldn't you rather deal with an agent, which means an established overseas company that can now broker on your behalf and speak on your behalf? Of course, this will be free. You will need to pay agency. In a nutshell, these were what we learned for lessons 1 and 2. At the end of that lesson 2, we gave a case study. You know what the case study is? I don't know how many of us attempted it, but the solution is D. Solution to the case study is D. It says, send the goods to Cotonou and hope to sell it there. That is the correct answer. Because some of us are joining us for the first time today, I'll pause for a page, maybe 5 minutes, and take questions so that we will all be on the same page as we progress in this mentoring series. So I'll pause for 5 minutes for you to ask questions.
Okay, please, you can, please feel free to ask question by raising your hands, please. Then we'll call you 5 minutes so that we feel. Ogechi Uche. Ogechi, unmute yourself and.
Okay. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty, Mrs. Chidume-Okoro, and happy birthday too. Thank you for actually inviting us to this forum. It's a wonderful one. This is my first time of joining. The question I want to ask, because while you were asking this question, I wasn't there initially. You noted that there are some low-risk products. You know, if you're a starter, permit me to ask if you can just refresh us on those low-risk products so that we can follow through. Okay. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty, Mrs. Chidume-Okoro, and happy birthday too. Thank you for.
We have Olusegun Fumito. Fumito, can you please speak up?
Yes, Your Royal Majesty, I really appreciate this forum for the enlightening, and because when people have burned their hands, as you mentioned that there are some products that are low risk, that individual has asked for it, but also you told us that we need to identify primary and secondary markets, and either we want to have a product fresh, dry, processed, etc. And I think we need more clarification on that low risk products. That's number one. Then number two, you talked about our commitment into this farming farming business, this agri business, that we must be committed and our time must be devoted. How do you go about it? Some of us that are still working somewhere, working for an individual, individual used to commit, we used to commit most of our time to their own business. How can we be really involved in this agri business and be successful? Because this thing needs our time. So how can we go about it? Please, we need more light on this. Thank you very much.
Tony Wobi. After that, if Efe. Tony, are you there? Tony Wobi. Okay, if Tony is not ready, Efe, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good evening all.
Yeah, good evening. Please speak up.
Yeah, madam, quite an insightful one. I appreciate. I'd like to ask, you mentioned the issue of having an agent overseas. You see, some people have had agents and at the end they were swindled or duped. So how do we get about a reliable agent? Because I'm looking at going into exportation of lead ore, but the problem has been the agent. So how do we get a reliable agent overseas? Thank you.
Efe, go ahead. After that, Bashir.
And I want to be products.
Efe.
Even cashew, cocoa, it should be among the real.
Okay, you're still talking. Okay.
Capital.
You thought you were saying it.
And that's why I wanted him to shift back so that they will not be hearing.
Speak louder, please. Tony, are you still talking?
No, I'm done.
Okay, Efe. After Efe, we have Bashir. Then we close. We move on to the next item.
I am talking. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you.
Your network is very bad. Okay, Bashir, Efe, I think your network is very bad. Can you just type the message?
I'm speaking already. Thank you, Your Royal. You are celebrating birthday. I thank you for this support. But I can hear you.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Hello.
Go ahead. Bashir, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
Madam, we are happy to have you with us. It's a pleasure. But my own question here is, in the first series of our discussion, you mentioned mentoring. I'd love to be, one of those that you will mentor physically. It's not an issue of, let us, if you have a setup that physically we can come for the mentoring issue so that we can get, this thing properly and kickstart a business that can change the life of many of us. Thank you.
Okay, so I think that's all the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Today actually is not my birthday. My birthday is on the 28th of this month, 28th of this month. That's next weekend. But I had cause to celebrate with a handful of friends that I may not be seeing on that 28th. So today was the only opportunity to meet with them and celebrate. And they too know that today is not my birthday. Be that as it may, thanks so much for your thoughtful wishes. I appreciate. I go straight to Ogechi Uche's question. She wanted to know, what products do you consider low-risk products? I will start by explaining to you why
Good enough.
Madam, there's something. Your mic is.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes, I can hear you now. No, it's off again.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're hearing me, I said for Ogechi Uche, I will start by telling you, explaining to you why a product like yam is a very, very high risk product. If you buy yam, even the yam you consume in your family, and you decide to keep it on the cement floor, on the bare cement floor or your tile floor, without putting it, say, on the shelf, within 2 weeks, yam will start cooking itself. Is it not? So now imagine where you put that yam in a metal container. You know what 20 feet containers, 40 feet containers are like. The body is completely metal. So now imagine where you stuff yam inside that type of container and you're sending it across the sea for a period of up to, maybe a period up to 6 weeks or 10 weeks or more. Do you think it will survive? Definitely it won't. So as a new entrant, it will be a very wrong step for you to take by starting with something like yam exportation. Talking about the low risk products, no product is completely risk-free, but there are some with very low risk. And it's those ones that are low risk that my company actually deals in. You talk about something like dried hibiscus flower. Yes, cashew nut to some extent, but you have to understand, have good knowledge of the oil content of cashew nuts. You talk about sesame seed. You talk about dried split ginger. You talk about hibiscus flower. You talk about gum arabic. All these, they have their own individual challenges. So if you understand the product, what to expect, the chemical components, what moisture level is allowable, then the risk is far, far easier to handle than going for something like yam or say raw cassava. Then that takes me to Olusegun's question. So Olusegun, I've answered part of your concern. Then the second one, you said identification of primary and secondary market. Did you attend our lesson 1 and 2?
It's already, we've muted everyone. We have to mute everyone.
Okay. So I wouldn't know if you attended our lesson 2. It specifically talked about secondary and primary markets, where I gave the example of China. You know, most Nigerian products that you see on the shelf in African stores abroad, they have Ghanaian labels, whereas you can swear that those products originated from Nigeria. So it means if you can't export to the US directly, you might as well export to Ghana as your primary market, who will now export to the US. Your product will still be there, but not on your label. So that's what I would say to that. I know we have eaten much into today's lecture time, but we need to deal with these matters for us to be on the same page. Your third question was that in what I have stated that I said agribusiness cannot be a part-time business. Yes, to a large extent, it cannot be a part-time business. If it's a part-time, what you reap is also part-time. You reap bits and pieces. You won't. It's crunches that fall off the table that you'll be able to pick. You won't get to the main menu. But be that as it may, you're concerned, you're still in business. And how do you get involved? It's better, of course, it takes a lot of courage for you to take the leap. So it's better while you're still in your productive age for you to go into this business than to wait until you are retired before you now go into the business. It won't work. You won't even have the energy. You won't have the zeal, that passion. Then at that stage, you're just looking for something to hang on, which negates what we have been preaching. So, but if you are in business, agri export is capital intensive. If you are in business, that is paid employment, or you have a consultancy firm, and you want to still be involved in agri, you can key in as a financier. You can do partnership with some other person that has all the time to nurture it and attend to it. Then if, I don't know whether it's Efe that asked this question, because the moderator kept saying Efe and Bashiru, so I don't know who asked it, but it's either Efe or Bashiru. You said oversee agents and then mentoring. Oversee agents and mentoring. Well, you said you've been trying to export lead or so for some time, and it hasn't been easy. I would take us, there are so many things, there are so many non-oil products you can export, but we are narrowing down our concern to just agri produce exports. But be that as it may, for a reliable agent, you talk to your mentor. You talk to your mentor. Your mentor will tell you how you can go about it to get genuine agents. Bashiri wants to do physical mentorship. I am available, Bashiru. I am available. Our facilities, my company facilities are also available. But the experience we have is that, you know, when mentees are invited to have a feel of what the physical warehousing operations or forwarding at the wharves, what the physical activities are like, somehow, maybe in a class of up to 1,000 as we have now, only 2 or 3 people will show up. So if you actually have the passion, the zeal to pursue this business, I'm available. Our company facilities are available both at the seaport where we have an export desk, our purchasing facilities up north. You will be given full access to ask questions, to go around, to check whatever, and that will help in the mentoring process. Thank you. Can I Paige, can I continue?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So today, our topic for discussion is sourcing and obtaining export contracts. Having identified your target market, whether you want to do primary markets or secondary markets, it might be a lot easier though exporting to Ghana than exporting to America. So having identified the markets you want to export to, then you need to source and obtain your export contract. So the third step towards becoming an agri exporter is to source for and obtain your export contracts or contracts. Definition. Export contract, please pay attention to this. Export contract is a purchase order between two parties consenting to buy and sell goods across country borders. The contract must be signed by both the buyer, importer, and the seller, exporter. In this case now, we are the exporters, because this mentoring is about exports. So we are playing from the exporter perspective. The contract will specify the terms and conditions of the selling and buying agreement. The basic information that a standard contract contains. There's no stereotyped way that a contract must be structured, but then there are basic information that must be in the contract for you to call it an export contract, an export order. That document, that agreement must have the seller's name and address. It must also have the buyer's name and address. Then you can include this. I omitted it in the write-up. It will also have the contract number or purchase order number. It means the same, contract number or purchase order number. Then it will also have the commodity of transaction with full description. So if we are talking about sesame seed, the color, the size, moisture content, ash content, allowable percentage of foreign materials, place of origin must be contained in that contract. Then the total quantity of the goods that contract covers has to be stated too. It can either be in grams, it can be in kilograms, it can be in metric tons, with some percentage plus or minus provision. Reason being that at the point of signing that contract, you cannot be that accurate. So there is usually, percentage plus or minus. You can supply 20 tons plus or minus 5% or 10%. Make sure that that clause is there. Then the packaging. The type of packaging has to be specified in the contract documents also. Is it going to come in propylene bags? Is it going to be double propylene bags? Is it jute bags? Is it cartons? Is it badges? Whatever. The pricing, that is the product price, agreed pricing per quantity has to be stated also. Total amount involved has to be stated, plus or minus, because there's a plus or minus clause. So there will be a plus or minus depending on what you ship at the end of the day. Then mode of freight, the contract will say that maybe it's going to be fulfilled through by sending the goods by land or by sea or by air. The shipment period will be stated also. It's usually a range, maybe within 1 month, within 2 months, or within 3 months. Then port of shipment and port of delivery will be contained in the contract documents. Mode of payment, is it going to be cash on delivery, cash against documents, bills for collection? Is it going to be LC, whatever? It will be stated there also. Then if transshipment is allowed, it will be stated there. If it's not allowed, it will also be stated there. Expiration dates of the contract will be contained in that document. What will nullify this contract? It will be stated there. What are the penalty clauses? It will be stated there. Then type of contract. Is it a third-party contract or irrevocable contract or whatever? It will be stated there. We move on. You can get export contract by focusing on your target markets through 1, emails. You can use emails. You can use internet search engines like Google, like Yahoo, what have you. You can also go to international chambers of commerce sites, embassies and their commercial session. Embassies like, say, American Embassy in Nigeria, they have a session that deals purely commerce and agri. You can attend a focused workshop like you're doing today. Trade associations, you can also visit trade associations. It might be your personal contacts through friends or relatives that are abroad that know who needs what. They can reach you if they know you have the zeal to do this business. Then referrals from existing exporters. So I may have more orders that my company can handle, then I can sublet or give those that I know are serious with the export business to handle some. You can also attend international exhibitions and trade shows. Those are expensive. In this day and time where the world has become a global village, you may not need to travel for all this. Even international exhibitions and trade shows are being done virtually. So if we spend less time on WhatsApping and use it to focus on things like this, you will be amazed at what results you'll be producing in a passion sector you have decided to take a look at. Then actions you need to take, needful actions I call them. When in doubt, please ask your mentor. In this forum now, I'm your mentor. So if there's anything you're not too sure, we have a platform. Speak out. It's better you speak out on the platform so that others will learn. Others may have similar concerns. So when you speak out and I respond, we are all getting trained. We are all drawing closer and nearer to our vision of becoming agri product exporters. Then check your emails very often, every day, at least. Check your emails for responses. If you have written a lot of mails, you need to be checking your mails often, because overseas, when they send mails and you don't respond, they will not take you as a serious business concern. Before you answer the buyer's questions, please so that you don't answer wrongly, especially if you've not done export before. You can private chat. You know, that one is private talk. Private chat to your mentor or an existing exporter. The only thing is that a lot of people don't want to share their knowledge. So you may, I'm not speaking for everybody. Some people may not want to share their knowledge, what they know about the industry. But for me, I have an open door policy. So whatever you want to learn, I teach you. By telling you what I know, it doesn't make me to know less. The only thing I've succeeded in doing is to prevent you from making the mistakes I made learning too. So when in doubt, talk to your mentor. If you are getting any serious inquiry, let your mentor guide you so that you don't give the wrong answers. Respond to the buyer's inquiries promptly. If a buyer is asking you, a ton of, say, Zobo, how much is it? FOB, or how much is it? C&F, and you don't know, please talk to your mentor. But these prices, most commodity prices are internationally quoted. The exporters in Nigeria will also tell you that they range. What I'll give you, if you talk to me, what I'll give you is a range that will enable you not to make losses. So if you're prudent, if you're shrewd, you will not know where to save, so that the higher savings you have, the higher your profits margin. Keep in constant touch with established exporters. Explore new and niche markets. So, by way of encouragement and my conclusion, I have said no more excuses. No more excuses. Good thing, the year, although we are in the first quarter of the year, we have spent just 3 months. So it's not late in the day for you to take up this new passion. You can still do something. So I said no more excuses. In January, I heard some mentees saying, I will surely start. In February, what did they tell me? I will start soon. This is March, drawing to an end. What are they still telling me? I still have it in mind to start. With this type of story, by April, I expect to hear, I am expecting something before starting. In May, the story continues. I will start any moment from now. June, wow. So you don't face start. I no go waste time again. July, something came up, but I won't fail to start by month end. 8th month of the year, August, I go surprise you at this August because I'm starting big. September, definitely, this is my September to remember. I am starting next week. October, my house rent is due this month, so I will start after paying. November, that is the 11th month of the year. If not for that, my house rent that I paid, I just paid, I would have started in October. But this month, no go pass me. In December, which is the last year of the month, here, too many bills to pick this month. I give it a push from January next year. And the cycle continues like that, on and on, on and on. So my dear participants, mentees, look, excuses are irrelevant when your needs are paramount. You will agree with me. Many have made millions while you give excuses. You don't withdraw excuses from the bank, do you? You can be a billionaire either in excuses or in money. But please note, success is reserved for action takers. Those who give excuses will soon be excused. My word of encouragement, activate yourself. Do something so that something will not do you. Good Ethan, I didn't say this. This is a quote I lifted from one of the men of God I cherish. His name is written there. So having said that, we come to the end of today's training, but we go to our case study. Before the case study, do we take questions or questions after the case study? So let me, Paige, what do we do? Questions before the case study or after the case study? How do you want it? Page platform, please let us know.
Question before the case study.
Okay. So I'm done with my presentation for today, except for the case study. So I'm here for your questions. So questions.
So let's take questions and see how we take it. We're going to take it the same way. So raise up your hands if you have questions. So we unmute you. Do you have questions? I can't see your hands though. Okay, good. I can see Oluwaseun Fumito. Please unmute yourself. Okay, go ahead and talk. After that, I have John Agana. Fumito, I can't hear you.
Yes. Good evening, all. Our Royal Majesty, I really appreciate you once more. Yes, there was a time I wanted to export charcoal. I've tried. A friend, I have a brother that was doing that in your state. He used to bring it down to Lagos for export and all the rest. But to locate the buyers over there, the thing was very difficult that time, because later I discovered that they said they were rejecting Nigeria charcoal because of all these people were doing, that they were adding all this powder form or whatever. They just put all those that are not okay, all those charcoals that are not strong, they put it inside container and learned that they were rejecting our charcoals. I want to know, the charcoals, are they still accepting our charcoal now or not? The charcoal export, are they accepting at the end? I need a link. Also, maybe I need to come to you directly for mentoring, because this mentoring of a team, I think that's the link. That's the major link here. God bless you.
Thank you. We have John Agana. After you, Favor Oti.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm highly impressed by the presenter, Our Royal Majesty. As so much, I'm also impressed by our last words of complaints and postponement of making efforts. But I have a simple question. My question is, in an attempt for us not to defer our actions, what could be the startup capital to start up this export trading? What could be the startup capital? If we can know the range of the startup capital, I'll be impressed. Because most persons will say, most reasons why people may not want to come in is because maybe they don't know the range of the startup capital. They feel maybe it involves billions of naira and all that and all that. Thank you very much.
Favor, after Favor, the next person is Favor Oti, then Uge Patience.
Madam, for the training, It's quite educative. Please, what are the keywords we can use when we go to search for links, as in using the internet search engines? Then two, how can we actually get this contact? Because most of the time, for somebody like me, I've gone to the extent of registering a company, getting a supplier, searching on the web, but yet to get a serious contact. So how do we go about that now, sourcing the buyers? Thank you very much.
So who gave patience? After that, Joseph Adesui.
Okay, good evening. I am very happy to be part of this program. My name is actually Udrakobong Sunday. I'm using Patience Uge's facility device. My question here is, I am one of the people that have just attended this for the first time. I wasn't in Model 1, I wasn't in Model 2. Therefore, I'm wondering, is it possible for us to get training materials for Model 1 and Model 2, or how do we go about it? Thank you.
That I will tell you that we'll send you the materials immediately after this evening. When we start sending, we'll send it along, the slides, former slides and the videos for the former ones.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Joseph Adesui. Then after that, we have Abdurrahman Bello.
Thank you, Madam Royal Majesty. It is quite encouraging, and your word of wisdom cannot be dispensed with. I've been with this program from Series 1 to date, and I'm really motivated, though I'm in diaspora anyway, but I have on my link down to Nigeria to do what I can do. I just want to ask a simple question. Is it possible for me to get your contact so that I can have a talk with you, especially in the area of mentoring, so that you can be a guide for me? I really need your help in that area. So, and I will appreciate if you can be of help to me in that regard. Thank you.
We now have Abdurrahman. After Abdurrahman, we should have Tony Wobi.
Hello, good evening, madam. I sincerely appreciate this presentation. My question is this. I want to know how we can get this export license, because I believe exporting all these products, we don't just enter the market without the export license. And secondly is that I understand that there are some FDA certification, assuming the product is going to US. How do we get those certification? And thirdly is that, is it possible that we are coming in for the first time, is it possible that we can, the buyer will have confidence in us without having any guarantor from someone like you that has been in the business in the past? And I want to also ask, how is it possible, or what will be the capital if we are going for this low risk? What will be the minimum capital that someone will require so that we can kickstart this business? And fourthly is that a venture, a business, an enterprise, a company has been registered in an enterprise name. Is it allowable, or the company must be a limited liability for the confidence, for the buyer to repose a confidence in such a company? Thank you, ma'am.
Tony Mobi. After Tony Mobi, we have Tolulope Akinpelu.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Good evening, madam. Quite professional and insightful. I want to observe, I know that agri business is quite risky. And for so, every businessman wants a commensurate return on the risk he's taking. From your wealth of experience, man, I'd like you to share with us, what are those products that you feel will give you commensurate profit vis-a-vis the risk in agri venture you are taking? Thank you.
So, thank you. So look up there, I think Bellu.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay. What I want to, good afternoon, good evening, His Royal Majesty. The question I want to ask is that, is it possible for UMA to decentralize the mentors? As in, when we have lectures like this, the problem that we face generally is the follow-up. Export business is a very good one that can even take Nigeria to a better position. But when we don't have people following us up or guiding us as the thing goes, especially when you start with the registration, you get hooked up somewhere, you know the system in Nigeria. If we have people that are guiding you, following you up, and you know people you can easily run to that are very close to you. So if the mentor, if it is mentorship is decentralized, maybe according to local government or whatever, or state, and then there's a kind of follow up, and you know we can then push through most of the problems we encounter, it will help. And you know, the step-by-step procedure, like the packaging and everything, some of us, we don't even know what to do, but we have the passion for this business. So I don't know what His Royal Majesty can do about that. If there's any provision, even if it involves, you know, paying for, you know, for the experience, going into all this procedure, we appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you. That's all. That's all. That's all the question. Sorry. Let me see. Oh, my goodness. Have I? What did I do here? Okay. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. I think you were muted. Good.
Okay, I've unmuted myself.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I said, let's take these ones. Let me attend to these questions before you allow more people to ask questions, in case my answers will address their concerns.
Okay.
Okay. So the last lady that asked the question, sorry, I didn't get your name. I didn't get your name, but when I'm addressing your question,
Tolulope Akinpelu.
Tolu. So I can just say Tolu, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So the first question was from Oluwaseun, who said he wanted to export charcoal, but it didn't work out. So he now wanted to know if charcoal is still an exportable product. Yes, but if you are thinking of tomorrow's business, I will advise you don't focus too much on charcoal. If you're with us at the onset of this Series 3 training today, you heard me state that charcoal is amongst what is called fossil fuel. And because of carbon emission, that the world over, they are thinking of replacing such sources of energy, going for clean energy. And I gave some examples of the clean energy. So instead of putting your effort and energy in something that you know will soon be out of vogue, it's better you refocus. Remember again, at the onset of this training today, I said food is the end thing, is sustainable, is big business, is good business. Reason being that Microsoft is here to manufacture an alternative to food. So long as you need food, the business is there. For charcoal, you see what is happening to charcoal. So you can't put all your energy in it because sooner or later, it will be phased out. Then Agana, John Agana, you said in an attempt not to defer action, that what is the startup capital? I don't know whether you were with us for lesson 1 and lesson 2. Before we talk about startup capital, you need to understand what you want to do, how to go about it before you now see the capital involvement. We cannot start talking about capital involvement now when there is a whole series dedicated to funding. So let's leave it at that. Pause that question until we get to that series number that is purely funded. So even if you don't have your own personal funds, you'll be told avenues through which you can get funding and how you will navigate that bridge when you get there. Favor wanted to know the precise sites where she can get information. That will be posted on the WhatsApp forum. If you're not on the WhatsApp forum already, I'm sure Paige will send out the link. You join, ask that question again on the WhatsApp platform. The answer will be given so that others will also get information. For either Mrs. or Miss Sunday, you wanted the training materials. Paige has attended to that. They will always give you, they are very thorough professionals like you. So they know how to send out the slides and the training materials to all participants. Mr. Joseph is in diaspora. He wants to get my contact. Please, Paige.
Nope.
I give you liberty to share my contacts, my email, my phone numbers with all participants.
Okay.
So that they can reach me. But I encourage people to talk on the platform so that others will learn. In that way, you know, everybody is learning instead of hoarding information. Hoarding information is not good. Abdul Rahman wants to know how to get export license for the Nigerian economy. If you want to export out of Nigeria, you will need to talk to Export Promotion Council. But if you go and obtain export, if you go there and fill their form, they will give you export license. But if that license expires after 1 year and you've not used it, they are not going to renew it. So I will suggest you understand the nitty-gritty of the business of what to do before you go for the license. You wanted to know the minimum capital also. We will deal with that when we are doing one of the series that will be purely funded. Then Abdul Rahman, you also wanted the type of company needed for the agri-export business. It's a limited liability company. That is what Nigerian government recognizes. So you can't do it as an enterprise business. You can't do it as a person. You just have to do it as a limited liability company. Export Promotion Council will also not give you license if you're not a limited liability company. Tony, you wanted to know which products are low risk with high profit margins. I know. I'm suspecting you must be an accountant. You know, accountants, they don't like taking risk. At the same time, they want to maximize their gains. There are really no such products. It depends on when you buy and who you are selling to and what time of the year you buy and what savings you are able to make. That discussion, let's take it further in our WhatsApp platform. Tolu, you need follow-up. That is the only way to make a success of the mentorship. That's why we are here. That's why I'm here. And that's why the platforms have been created. By the time we run through lesson 10 of this mentoring series, you would have gained so much that you know that you're being followed up. And on the WhatsApp platforms, we are not going to close them down. It continues, and you learn, you ask, you are being pulled by a strong hand in quotes. So you will get to your destination with that vision. Thank you. More questions?
Okay. Do we have more questions? I think, do you still have questions? I think John Agana. Okay, Tolu Lokpe, do you still have more questions? Olaf Fumito, do you still have questions? I see you raising your hand.
No, I'm just typing. No more questions.
Okay, no more questions. So do we have, yes. John Agana, do you have more questions? I see you raising your hand.
No more questions, sorry.
Excellent. So all the questions have been attended to.
Yes.
But there's one person that said she on the chat window, the person said he got export license and it expired. I think that has also been addressed.
Yes.
Okay, so that means we are good to go. So let's go to the case study.
Okay, the case study for this lesson 3 is, I am quite excited at the thought of now doing export business and can't wait to strike my first deal. To this effect, I have been sending lots of correspondence to all and sundry. Eventually, I have gotten the much needed responses on my 60 bags of chili pepper. Remember my 60 bags of chili pepper, which I bought at the rate of 1,000 per bag? I have received the following answers or information. 1, my bank manager mentioned my 60 bags of dry chili pepper stock to a customer of the bank, who has instantly lodged payments into my account at the rate of 3,000 naira per bag, an instant 200% profit. 2, the agent that bought the goods for me has sold and collected the money on my behalf into his account, so not my account, at the rate of 3,500 per bag. Mr. Yakasi says he has paid money into my account at the rate of 5,000 per bag and just waiting for me to send the goods to Lagos to his for his export shipment, For a Beninois called to say a local woman in her village that does not do exports is interested in the stock and has given a letter to that effect. 5, I want to leave the goods in the warehouse, hoping that the price might improve further. Which step best addresses my passion? Justify. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for your attention also. It's been a pleasure spending these 2 hours with us. But my prayer, what will make me happier is to see younger exporters, people that are more passionate about exports, agri-export business than myself. People that will fly Nigeria's flag all over the world, exporting Nigerian products. People that will not be ashamed to be called Nigerians. People that can hold their heads high anytime, anywhere, all over the world and say, yes, I am a Nigerian. Despite the fact that I'm a Nigerian, my income is in hard currency. I am proud to be a Nigerian. With this, I close today's session and hope that our series 4 lectures will be coming up, hopefully in a fortnight, all things being equal. With that, I say happy weekend, everyone. Thank you to Page Platform for availing your facility for this mentoring series. Please, more grease to your elbow. Don't forget to do your case study. As you do also, Page Platform will give you the contact where to send your answers to. Thank you, good night, and God bless you.
So thank you so much, Madam, for making our time to attend to our Nigerians in this form. Also, thank to all the members that made our time from your very busy schedule to attend. We are very sorry that our facility right now, we have a limited space compared to the turnout. So we will continue to see how we can expand. We currently have integrated our YouTube channel to the platform. So we believe that we can reach thousands of people through that platform. We also have a Facebook page, which we intend to use subsequently to also expand. We believe that with this technology, we'll be able to reach out to more audience than the limited number that we are reaching. So let's continue to expand and learn from the present and touch lives around. We believe that what you've learned today, you'll be able to pass it along to others and invite others to come on board so that we can all do this together. Together, we can wipe away poverty from Nigeria. Together, we can wipe away joblessness in this country. Together, we can share true love. Currently, the country is facing different kind of challenges, but when we all rise above poverty level, I'm sure most of those challenges will be put to rest. Thank you so much. And thank you to my page crew for their support, because it's a team thing, team effort. With the team effort, that's what we believe strongly in Nigeria. We believe that every part of Nigeria is very important. Every individual in Nigeria is important. All the attendees continue to add positive value wherever you find yourself so that we can truly raise Nigeria's flag up. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless us all. So we'll reach out to you through giving you the slides and the videos as requested through the emails you provided. Thank you and good night.